Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for being here. I'm Chris Lyons, the CEO at AIMS Services. Now, before we begin, as unaccustomed as I am to public speaking, I want to thank the entire AIM team, in conjunction with the commissioner's team, for putting all this together. It's not always easy when you're busy supporting people to pull away and create a narrative about how you're supporting people. But that's what we're going to do today. I also want to thank the media for coming. This is an important event. There's a lot of strife in the world, nationally, globally, even locally in our communities. So it's important that you're covering good news. And today, have I got good news? Supported decision-making is a game changer for individuals with developmental and intellectual disabilities. I want to underscore our gratefulness for the mission-critical guidance that we have received from OPWDD, particularly Council's office in Halden Blecker, and the passionate leadership of Commissioner Willow Bear. I want to digress and also thank and point out the great work of the Research Foundation at Hunter College, and specifically Judge Kristen Glenn, who was the genesis of this initiative, primarily within New York State. Judge Glenn, again along with Attorney Blecker, and others too many to mention, moved the supported decision-making statute and regulations from start to finish. We owe them an immense debt of gratitude. Today, however, I want to describe the close cooperation and collaboration with OPWDD in launching and maintaining a sustainable process to make this game-changing service accessible to all with intellectual and developmental disabilities. Now, AIM and OPWDD have been close partners in a number of initiatives in the Empire State. Alternative housing, AIM's dementia care residence, which is soon to open, and our massively successful self-direction services, just to name a few. Yet none is more important than supported decision-making. The Commissioner has promoted innovation in the field, and we have answered the call. But it's only through the steadfast dedication of Commissioner Bear and her team that we have been able to properly leverage our close partnership to create real outcomes for real people. So it's with a great deal of gratitude and respect that I now introduce OPWDD Commissioner Willow Bear.
Well, thanks, Chris, and good afternoon, everyone. I want to start out by wishing everyone a very happy Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month. Every March, we celebrate the incredible diversity and strength and love that people with disabilities bring to our communities and our workplaces and our families and our homes. So it is such a perfect time to join our partners at AIM Services to make this really exciting announcement. Today marks an important step forward, not just for New York, but for the rights and the dignity of all people with developmental disabilities. I want to thank Chris Lyons and his entire team for your commitment to providing person-centered services, not just today, but every day in so many ways. And Chris, for your lifelong vision and leadership in bringing that to this project. Supported decision-making recognizes that people with disabilities are people first. It recognizes that people with disabilities are decision makers, and it puts their voice right at the center where it should be. Now, I am an attorney by trade, don't hold that against me, but I have been advocating for supported decision making since it was just an idea in New York State, and was thrilled 10 years ago when we were able to start piloting it. So it is such an incredible honor. You made me emotional earlier. This makes me emotional. It is such an incredible honor to be able to announce its statewide launch as a member of Governor Hochul's administration. This is a governor who has supported the service system since the beginning and under whose leadership this was signed into law in 2022. Across the nation, more and more states are recognizing supported decision-making, embracing it in a passive way and an informal way. But what is so significant about today is that New York is not just recognizing supported decision-making, we are actually making it available to people with disabilities throughout the state. We are putting the right tools in the hands of people with disabilities to make sure they can direct their own decisions about their own lives. As a system, we talk about being person-centered all the time, right? It is the core of everything that we strive to do. And there is nothing more person-centered than making decisions for yourself about your own life. It's natural to want support or to need a little help when making decisions. I lean on my friends and family all the time when making decisions, large or small. But supported decision-making under the leadership and the vision of AIM Services will provide a level of dignity and support and trust in that decision-making process. The principles of supported decision-making are at the heart of what we believe in at OPWDD. That every person with a developmental disability has a voice, and that our job is to make sure that voice is heard. That people are given support to make their own decisions and to use that voice to advocate for themselves, and that we then listen to what it is that they're telling us. It is more than a policy. It's about a person choosing where to live, how to spend their money, who to trust, how to live their life. It's about equity, it's about independence, and it's about dignity. At OPWDD, the ability to choose your own destiny, to forge your own path, is at the very center of everything that we do. We are a service system, a civil rights movement that was founded by people with disabilities, speaking up for themselves, telling us what they were capable of, and telling us what they deserve. And this statewide service is another step in our commitment to honoring that legacy. So thank you so much for being here with us today, and thank you to AIM for your vision and your passion in taking the reins in this very important project.
Thank you, Commissioner. I forgot to mention that I'm very proud to be joined today by my good friend Dwight, who is a decision maker, and hopefully maybe he'll take some questions later, and part of our new leadership team, Alexis Harrington, who's helping to drive this initiative. AIM Services is well known throughout the state for our person-centered services. What does this mean? It means the person is at the center of things. When I came here, we were an agency-driven agency, and now we're a person-driven agency. The focus is on outcomes and not necessarily the health of the agency. And believe it or not, that focus has made us healthier than ever. But what does person-centered services mean? We're not in a control model that the professionals tell that person what to do to appear normal or to fit into society. But we listen to people with IDD and developmental disabilities. What are their passions? What are their desires? What do they want to be competent at? Where do they want to live? Who do they want to live with? What are their favorite things? How do they express themselves sexually? How do they express themselves spiritually? Where do they want to go? What do they want to experience? How do they connect in life, not only being in our communities, but of our communities? What are their hopes, their dreams, and their intentionality? And then we expand that to create some service. And at the heart of this paradigm of service delivery is personal autonomy. And it's not just a good idea, it's a basic human right. In fact, two things you should be aware of. A variety of international agreements, beginning with the Universal Declaration of Human Rights in 1948, and most recently the United Nations Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities. They affirmed that these are affirmative rights people own, premised in equality, non-discrimination, and dignity. They connect us as people, partners, advocates, advocacy, and practice around the world. These have made signature parties reaffirm that persons with disabilities have the right to the recognition everywhere, just as that everyone else does as persons before the law. It states that parties shall recognize that persons with disability enjoy legal capacity on an equal basis with others in all aspects of life. Parties shall take appropriate measures to provide access by persons with disabilities to the support they may require in exercising their legal capacity. In 1990, President George Bush, the first, signed the American with Disabilities Act, and he stated, "Let the shameful walls of exclusion finally come tumbling down." What does this mean, legal capacity to make decisions? It is at the core of our human dignity to enjoy our successes in life, the natural consequences of our choices, our decisions, our experiences, the mosaic of our choices that make us who we are. At the core of our human dignity is our ability to own our own successes, and we can only do that if we're allowed to own our own failures. This replaces the draconian control of guardianship with the opportunity for people to learn from their choices with supports from those who they identify to impart meaning in their lives on their terms. That's what supported decision-making is designed to do, and that's what we intend to initiate throughout the state of New York. A basic human right to make your own decisions, the dignity of risk. And I'm so pleased to introduce Alexis Harrington to speak a little bit more about the program.
Good afternoon, everybody. Though AIM Services has been collaborating with Supported Decision-Making New York, or SDMNY, since 2019, AIM Services is extremely lucky to come in at this point of the initiative's evolution after careful and thoughtful piloting of this model. We are grateful to Naomi Brickell and Judge Kristen Booth Glenn for charging the way with the pilots that came before us. The Council on Developmental Disabilities for funding the first pilot awarded to Supported Decision-Making New York in 2016, focusing on educating people about supported decision-making as an alternative to guardianship and to restore rights to those already subject to guardianship. We are also grateful to New York State Office for People with Developmental Disabilities, who continue to pilot funding with Supported Decision-Making New York through the end of 2025. AIM Services is charged with developing and maintaining the infrastructure necessary to oversee this statewide rollout and provision of supported decision-making, which includes continuing to spread awareness of this alternative to guardianship, engaging with decision makers like Dwight, educating supporters that the decision maker identifies, training facilitators and mentors who provide the toolbox and resources to decision makers to establish a supported decision-making agreement. That is a legally recognized document accepted by third parties, including medical offices, documenting the person's human right to make their own decisions. We are looking forward to continuing to partner with agencies to expand this very important infrastructure to New Yorkers while building a sustainable program model to all who need this. Thank you.
So we'd like to introduce Dwight, who is a person who's gone through supported decision-making.
Hello, my name is Dwight Joyner. I didn't write a whole biography, so bear with me. But I'm part of supportive decision-making. Decision-making means that I can make my own choices, and I can do the things that I want to do. Making my own meals, take a walk down the street, be able to like have a relationship without being able to somebody tell me that I can't be in a relationship. To be able to like have someone like Darlene, which is in the audience here with her, just to have her as somebody close to me. She's been awesome. She's been great. She takes care of me. She's in a purple dress right there. She's been awesome. So great to me, and I love her to death. And I can ask for nothing more than her. She's been awesome. And I thank all you guys for your supports. Megan, you guys. Sorry about the names. I know faces, but I don't always know names. All you people, that's all my supports. And the people that supported me here throughout the agency, through self-directions. I appreciate all you guys. I've came a long way from when I was in other places. And I've grown up, and I I became independent to the point where I just don't need, I need supports, but I don't need much supports, like, I can do it on my own. Like, I can navigate a TV, I can navigate things like medications. I can do my own meds. I can call off to get meds. I can fix my own TV, I can make my own meals. I can take care of myself. Like, if something happens in the house, I can call somebody to where if something happens in the house, I have that phone call away. I can make a phone call to make sure I'm safe. Like, I can take care of myself. Like, and like I can just appreciate my space around me. Like, I'm living in a neighborhood that's nice. I don't have to worry about people robbing me, taking my money, or I just like I'm free. I'm taking care of myself. I'm free. I'm like just not worried about things happening to me like I was when I was in my other basements. People taking advantage of me, not taking my things. Like, so I just appreciate being here and being able to express to you guys how I feel and being safe within my own space and not being judged, being free, like being able to like express myself as a person to where back then I couldn't be able to. So that being said, I thank you guys.
Thank you.